Hey guys, today we're going to talk about living in Everett, Washington. If you are not familiar with Everett, we are going to tell you everything you need to know. It's a Seattle suburb, it's north of Seattle. We're going to dive in and get you oriented. So if you're thinking about relocating to the Seattle, Bellevue, Everett area, points north, you will have a great idea of what to expect. Stay tuned. So if this is your first time or your 10th time watching one of my videos, welcome. This is Emily Cressy. I'm a local real estate agent and Seattle native. I'm actually sitting in a beautiful Everett home right now doing an open house. And so I just thought it would be a great opportunity since I've got Everett on the brain. I'm in Everett. Thought I would introduce you to kind of what earthquake, introduce you to the best of the area. So if you're new, again, make sure you please subscribe. We do weekly updates with pros and cons of living here, different neighborhood profiles and that type of thing. So this channel is designed specifically for people who are thinking about relocating, and I am a real estate agent, so if you need any help with your move, please feel free to reach out. I can't help you if I don't know. This will give you a good intro to the area, but I love to meet people and kind of get to know their personality and fine tune sort of the locations and their budgets and their goals and their work, everything they want to spend time doing to give you the very best sense of where you want to be living in the Seattle area. So again, welcome, again, subscribe and watch to the very end because you never know what's going to happen. I kind of get crazy sometimes. So Everett is actually a fairly large city to the north of Seattle. If you're on the I-5 freeway, you started in downtown Seattle and traffic was pretty good, it would take you about an hour to half an hour. Maybe if there was no traffic and you were going 60 the whole time, you could get there in a half an hour, but for the most part, plan for at least an hour to get up north to Everett. You're going to go out of King County into Snohomish County. You're going to go through Linwood, and Everett is the next stop up there. If you keep going north, you'll get to Marysville, Washington, which is adjacent to one of our local Indian tribes, the Tulalip Indian tribe. The next thing to be aware of is that Everett is a port town, which means that it is on Puget Sound. You have saltwater access, and there is actually a naval station there. So that's one of the big employers in the area is this naval station, and the beach area in Everett is somewhat of an industrial type of place. They've got these Navy things. This was formerly kind of a manufacturing area, so we have log mills, sawmills, that type of thing, ports, ships. It's not like Hawaii where you go to the beach and sit on the sand. There's a lot of industrial stuff. So even if you have a house that's fairly close to the water, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be like walking there in your swimsuit and flip-flops. The downtown in general is an older kind of historic downtown feel, and it's not super nice in terms of just like there are homeless people, there are some offices, there's some like lower income housing, there are a lot of old homes that have been converted into like duplex or triplex types of things. So there are a lot of rentals. It is a fairly low cost of living area for the region, but there's some dicey areas as well. So don't just look on the map and say, oh, Everett's cheap, and go there without doing some homework. I would say especially Broadway and that main kind of downtown area, it's beautiful older homes, but also some that are really deteriorated and kind of street by street. It's different. Like there are some gritty urban areas of Everett that may be off-putting, so just to be aware of that. But not all of Everett is like that. I don't want you to paint the whole thing with that broad brush. Up by Silver Lake, there are some nice areas. There are some suburbs where you're in a development and it seems, very safe. We have friends up there. We're always driving up to their suburbs, kind of off of Bothell Everett Highway. So it's a big town. Not everything is the same as downtown Everett. Another thing to be aware of is that one of the big employers in Everett, there are a couple of big employers. So the Navy base is one that I already mentioned. Then we've got Boeing. And then a third major employer there is actually the prison. So there are, it's like, jail, what do they call it? Prison when you're there for long term. Fun things to do in Everett. One of the fun things that I like to do, and I used to live in Linwood, which is just one suburb south. So when my kids were young, we got an annual pass, a membership to the Children's Museum, which is so cool. They have all these displays. My kids could spend like 4 hours there every week as a stay-at-home mom. It was really good to have a place you can let your kids run around off leash and indoors during all of our rainy weather. So they have cool ping pong mazes, they have water tables. I love doing holiday activities with my family, and my kids are older now, but one of the traditions that we've kept up is going to a 4th of July parade. And so Everett has you can actually go and park in their park and ride by the freeway, and they have free shuttle buses that bring everybody up to the parade route. And so you can go sit and watch whatever they happen to have that year, clowns on stilts, horses, motorcycle riders, floats with karate classes and drill teams, bagpipes, cars with the mayor driving by. Here in Everett, there are some really good schools. This house that I'm in here it's in Everett, but it's called Seattle Hill Road. That's the neighborhood, and we're by Glacier Peak High School, which is actually rated 10 out of 10 on the Great Schools ranking. So there are good schools out here. Another really good thing about Everett, I will just say, is that it has remained relatively affordable compared to a lot of the other places that people want to live around here. Condos in this area start at about $300,000 for a 2-bedroom condo near downtown Everett, and there aren't as many condos out here in the suburbs, but they're always building stuff. New construction is going in all the time, but typically at a higher price point. So if you're looking for a home, let me know what your budget is, and we can kind of talk about where you can get the most for your money. If budget is really a chief concern, it may make more sense to look in south of Seattle. So we're kind of the outskirts of how far you would want to drive to the north of Seattle. And if you work in Seattle, you're looking for affordability, make sure you look south in places like Renton, Federal Way, Kent, Burien, Covington. Those are going to be some more affordable suburbs to the south of the city, and you can typically at this point in time get more for your money going south than you can going north. The north has historically been a little bit more desirable location-wise. To the south, we had the airport and some industrial manufacturing stuff south of downtown. That just made it a little bit less popular, further to drive to get away from those vibes.